Hi, I'm Bonnie, and today I would like to show you how to use a woven wrap. So woven wraps fall under the category of wraps. There's basically two types. There are stretchy wraps, which are like the Moby, the Boba. Those are stretchy wraps. And woven wraps are very similar. They're simply a long piece of fabric, but they don't have any stretch to them. So you will get tired of hearing me say this, but there is absolutely no one best carrier of all time. So the best carrier is the one that fits your body, fits your baby, and fits your lifestyle. So all carriers have advantages, disadvantages. They have situations where they shine, and they have situations where they shine not as brightly. So my goal here is to tell you about each carrier, explain the advantages, the disadvantages, the circumstances under which they shine, the ones that they don't, and let you decide which one is right for you. So a woven wrap is just a long piece of fabric. Its main advantages is its versatility. So in theory, you can use the exact same carrier from the time baby is born to the time you are done wearing. I can pretty much guarantee you won't, because if you fall in love with wraps, you're also going to fall down the rabbit hole, and you will begin to most likely geek out about that. That's also one of its advantages too. There are so many beautiful wraps. They are some of the most beautiful carriers in our in the baby wearing world. There are different lengths. They come in different fabrics. They come in different colors, different wefts. People become collectors often of wraps. If you're a geek out kind of person and you really enjoy that kind of detail, then this might be the carrier for you. It's excellent for people who have injuries or deal with pain, because it's so versatile. You can wrap them in a million different ways. So if you have a shoulder injury, you may be able to do a one shoulder wrap. If you have a back injury, you may be able to wrap it in a way that puts the weight in an area that is stronger and more able to carry that weight. Has so much more versatility than some of the others, like the soft structure carriers and some of those. So the downside is that they do have a learning curve. So they have the highest learning curve of the carrier groups. Now that learning curve is significantly reduced thanks to YouTube. Most of us learned how to wrap with YouTube videos. So, and there are tons of wrappers. Wrapping is not my primary carrier type. So I know enough to teach people the basics, and then I pass them on to somebody else like Wrapping Rachel or Babywearing Faith, who can teach you about fancy finishes. They can teach you about all the different types of ways to wrap and carriers. So if you're a person who really likes to geek out on something, you enjoy a challenge, you enjoy feeling accomplished, you don't mind putting a little bit of time and effort into it, then people who do that and they fall in love with the wraps, and that's generally their primary carrier. So it is worth the time and effort to put into it if that's the kind of person that you are and you enjoy that kind of thing. There's groups for the different brands, for the different types of for the different types of wraps, hand wovens, machine wovens. You get a lot of, like I said, a lot of times people become wrap collectors, and it's beautiful. They're beautiful. I have taken a couple of wraps that I have owned and put them up in my house now that we don't use them anymore, and displayed them because they are so beautiful. So today what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you how to do front wrap cross carry, which is one of the basic ways to wrap a woven wrap. And it's also one of the most versatile. You can put a newborn in it, you can put an older kid in it. It's a really great way. And I think it's one of the easiest, and it's one of the easiest to teach people how to use a stretchy, how to use a woven wrap. So if you've ever used a stretchy wrap, you know a similar hold to this. So it's also the first one that I teach because if people have used a stretchy wrap that is familiar to them. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the stretchy wrap hold, but we're going to put the seatbelt on the inside versus the outside. So this is the wrap that I use when I teach, is this one by Girasol. It's a machine woven. It's pretty indestructible. I love it. Easy to use, even once students purchase, doesn't have to have a lot of breaking in. And the colorway is from the Carrying On project. And what I like about it is that it has different colors at the top and the bottom. And the reason why I like to use this when I teach is because unlike a stretchy wrap, you actually do need to pay attention to what part of the wrap that you're tightening. And this makes it a little bit easier to show that and to see that. So just a little bit about woven wraps. The hemmed edges are called rails. And I tell you that not to be geeky or to be intimidating, but because if you go and watch other videos and the instructor is talking about tightening this rail or that rail, you'll know what I mean, what they're talking about. So these are the hemmed edges are the rails. The ends are called tails. So the first thing that we're always going to do, just like if you have used a stretchy wrap, is we're going to find our middle marker. So Girasol puts their tag in the middle, and we're going to start there. So I am going to put this around almost like I was wrapping a beach towel. And unlike a stretchy wrap, if you've seen me tie a stretchy wrap, this needs to be tied more carefully. You need to make sure that the rails or the passes don't get twisted around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, kind of tuck it under my chin, and then I'm going to pass each rail to my other hand and bring it over my shoulder. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to pass it to my other hand and bring it over my shoulder. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Pass that from one hand to the other, up over my shoulder. And there we go. So my top rail here, the yellow part, is here. My bottom rail is here. So I'm going to kind of gather this up a little bit so it's not so much bulk. And then unlike a stretchy wrap, if you've ever used that, we're going to go ahead and grab baby. So this carry in particular is not poppable. You can do poppable carries with a woven wrap, just not the way I'm showing you how to tie it. So this is also really good. You can actually do this carry with a woven wrap, with a stretchy wrap. You just need to make sure that you pull all the stretch out of it. So if you're one of those people that feels like their stretchy wrap is always too loose, they can't get it tight enough, then consider doing it this way as well. So we're going to put baby in now. So I'm going to put baby up on my shoulder like I'm going to burp him. I'm going to take this other hand, I'm going to come up underneath the seatbelt pass, and I'm going to slip baby down into that pass. So I'm going to bring this up over baby. We want it to be at the base of their neck. We do not want it to be over baby's head. And we do not want it to be too far down their back either, because we need that to support them. So we are going to pull it up here, top rail. The bottom rail, I'm going to take and I'm going to make what's called a seat. So a seat is more important in other carries. Because this one has cross passes, it's not as much of a safety concern. All seats are also very important in ring slings, but the main thing that you're doing is you're positioning baby into, you want to think about a hammock. So when you sit in a hammock, if you sit on the very edge of a hammock, all you have to do is shift your weight and you're on the ground. If you sit back into the hammock, you've got the fabric of the hammock from knee to knee. Your bum is below your knees. Then if you're like me, you may need a couple of people to help you get out of that. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for knees above bum, M shape with legs, supported back. So now I am going to start tightening this up. And I do that, in this one, I usually do it in thirds. So I'm going to start with the top, this yellow part. I'm tightening that up. And you want to kind of pull out and away from you like you have wings. So then I'm going to bring that down here. I'm going to bring the middle. And I can't do the wing thing because I've already kind of tightened it up. So I'm going to do the middle third, and then I'm going to grab that bottom third, and I'm going to tighten that up. Now, depending on how I'm feeling that day, I can either hold it here in my hand, or if I feel like I need two hands to work with this one, then I can put it in between my knees. So I usually just pull it down here and hold the tension on that. So then I'm going to grab again, I'm going to do the top third, and I can feel it tighten it up right here. And then I'm going to tighten the middle, and then I'm going to tighten that bottom rail. I really feel that extra slack coming out. So now I actually have baby. Baby is safe and secure. I can feel them against my body. They're not slumping. They don't have extra slack in the carrier. You can see how well that's molding to baby's body there. That's what I'm looking for. So I want it to be nice and tight. So now I'm going to take these, and this is where I'm going to make the X like I would in a stretchy wrap. I'm just going to cross it underneath. I'm going to come underneath their legs. We want to make sure that we don't impact their legs. We don't pin their legs down. So I'm going to come underneath. You can tie off here. I have enough in this one to tie my tails in the back. So always in a knot. Bows are pretty, knots are safe. So we're always going to tie in a knot. So now if I need some support, so I am actually done. I can be done right here. Baby's nice and secure. Weight is nicely distributed across my entire body, my entire back. There's no pressure points on my shoulders. There's nothing pinching in my back. I've got these are nice and spread out across my back. So if I want a little bit more support, I can also, or if it's chilly, I can spread these out across baby, like so. So this works really well if baby falls asleep. We can take one of these passes and tuck baby's head into it, the back of their head only. We always want to make sure, these demo dolls, their plastic heads always give me problems. We always want to make sure that baby's airflow is nice and clear. Their back is supported, there's no slumping. We want to make sure that we can get 1 to 2 of our fingers underneath their chin, between their chin and their chest, so that their airway isn't cramped. And we've got that X, we've got that nice seat, so there's no fall risk. So again, this is very much mimicking the way I would carry in arms. That is my own golden rule of baby wearing. Baby wearing should always mimic the way we carry in arms. We instinctively, as humans, know how to carry our babies in arms safely. Baby wearing should be no different. So if you know how to carry your baby in your arms safely, then you will know instinctively whether baby is secure in that carrier. So again, that is how to do front wrap cross carry. The nice thing about this versus the advantage of this one over a stretchy wrap, and pretty much everybody knows how much I love me a stretchy wrap, is that this is adjustable. So it's not poppable, but it's adjustable. So if I want to feed in this, either breastfeed or chest feed or bottle feed, I can do that without taking baby out of the carrier. So if I want to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen it up. I'm going to untie that knot, making sure that I keep tension on those passes as I'm undoing that. So I'm going to take these out, making sure that I keep that tension on at all times. I'm going to take us back to this position, and I am going to lower baby just a little bit. Do a little bounce and shake. We bounce baby down. If I was going to breastfeed or chest feed, I would put baby over to whatever side I needed. You do a combination of lowering baby to chest and raising breast to baby. So I'm going to latch on. Obviously my baby's not going to be able to do. Latch on, and then I tighten back up and tie off. Feed, and then I can do the reverse. If I'm going to bottle feed, I might just give myself a little bit of room because baby might be too high up here to get a bottle in, get some good angle with the bottle. So I may give myself some room, tie back off. So like here, I might tie off at the bottom just until I'm done. Feed baby. And then what I'm going to do when I'm done, we always want to bring baby back up to that higher position, whether we have bottle fed or breast or chest fed. So we are going to bring baby back up, tighten back up, both sides, and then cross and tie back off. Again, you can do all kinds of fancy finishes, depending on what size wrap you have. If you got extra tails, there's all kinds of cool stuff you could do with extra tails. So that is how to do front wrap cross carry. To get baby out, you just undo. You want to make sure that you keep some tension. You either want to keep tension on the wrap, or you want to put your hand on baby as you're taking that knot out, because once that knot is loosened, is taken out, baby could potentially fall. So we want to make sure that we've either got the tension on the wrap or we've got a hand on baby. So then we just loosen up, depending on how fancy your wrap is or how you feel about it. I usually just drop mine to the floor and then take baby. So that is how to do front wrap cross carry in a woven wrap. Woven wraps are amazing. They have a little bit higher learning curve, but most people that I know that have gotten past that learning curve absolutely love their woven wraps and oftentimes prefer them in a lot of situations. So